Hello friends. Okay, so today is a good day. Today I started recording my latest Pluralsight course around Endpoint Manager, Intune, that kind of thing. And I wanted to share with you just one of the bits of that video that I'm creating for Pluralsight now about the lab setup, the on-premises lab setup that we need to do. And I hate the fact that I need to do it because I hate hybrid, but identities are best on-premise and very often on-premise, most likely to be on-premises for most organizations and for most people who are training. So we're going to start with an on-premises lab environment and have the identities homed in the on-premises environment and synchronize it with the cloud, as many organizations have with Office 365. But the desktops, I promise you, the virtual machines are all going to be cloud only. I'm not going to ruin anything by doing hybrid devices because that would, yeah, I don't want to do that. So we need an on-premises lab environment, so I'm going to start with that. And I thought I'd just record it and stick it on the channel as well, just so you guys can see how it goes, how it works, and what we're doing. The actual video that goes to Pluralsight will have a much more professional voiceover, I'm sure, but the content will be the same. So let's jump in. So we're going to grab Google, and from here, I don't want to switch to Google Chrome, thank you. From here, we're going to download the MEM evaluation kit. As you can see, it's a Microsoft site, and it's the MEM evaluation lab kit. It says you can get started for free, and really, it's this MEM eval lab kit gives you everything you need to get started with Intune and Config Manager. Now, the course I'm creating doesn't include Config Manager, so we're just going to turn that off at the start. But in fact, I think when you first download it and install it, the Config Manager server's off. So we're just not going to turn it on. But it includes a domain controller, all these test users, and some Windows 11 machines that we can use to get started. So I'm going to use that. Just scroll down a little bit. It tells you all about this lab kit that we can use. And it even gives you some information about the prerequisites that you need. We need Hyper-V. We need admin rights, obviously. A little bit of free disk space, 300 gig in this world is not in this world, in these times in this world is not too much. High throughput disk subsystem, SSDs, is that what you mean? 32 gig of RAM and a high-end processor. It's a bit vague there. It says this lab expires the 7th of August 2022 and a new version will be published prior to expiration. I'm recording this on the 9th of October 2022, so that's a lie. But if we go up to the top and choose download the environment here in the eval center, you can see that it says get started for free, exactly the same, very, very similar website. And then you've got download the lab environment and download the lab guides. Scroll down a tiny bit more and it gives you I think it's a different date. November 5th, 2022. So these VMs come with a built-in expiry. The servers, for example, are just, they have a specific expiry date, which in this case is around about November 2022. They will publish a new version that you can download and install in November, hopefully prior to November 5th. I've seen it in the past where they haven't published it prior to November 5th, and you need to just email them and prompt them to do it, because whilst you can still use them, you've got like 30 days before they start complaining and restarting themselves every 10 minutes or so. So they're not really for a permanent lab experience. And if you have MSDN or any other way to license and activate these servers, then you can do that and continue using them after that. But the idea here is that you get the latest and greatest for a short period, normally 90 days. So we'll just scroll back up to the top and download the lab environment. It asks you to register, tap in your details, and when you click download now, it genuinely just downloads that file. Let me skip to the File Explorer and show you what you get. You get this one here. So you get the Microsoft 365 Device Lab Kit.zip. We'll just open that up. And then here you get a ZPack file, which is probably a zip file really, because it's 22 gig. You get a setup file and a zpacks.exe. Simply a case of extracting these contents, to your disk. So that would be right click, extract all if you use a Windows 11. And then from the folder that you create, which is probably Microsoft 3. No, I put it somewhere different. I put it here. So I actually extracted this to a folder called M365DLK. It's got a load of other files in here right now, but the one I want you to concentrate on is these three here. That's the three files that you just saw in the zip file. It's very simply a case of running setup.exe as admin. And drag this over. You get this screen. You choose next. And obviously read through the end user license agreement. I can't do that on your behalf. Please do read through that. It's really important. I just did it there. I'm a speed reader at heart. We'll choose next. And it checks for a local internet connected switch. So it says that the lab is ready to be provisioned. And when you click next, it goes ahead, gives you a little readout of the things it's doing, which is creating switches, creating virtual machines, really copying files around, extracting them. I'm not going to press next because I've already done it, as you saw earlier on. So once you've done that, hopefully everything went well. If not, please contact Microsoft, not me. The folders are all here. The VHD files are all here. And what you get in Hyper-V is this. So you get a load of clients, you get a load of servers, you've got DC, a CM1, GW1, INET1, VPN1. They're not part of the kit. They're actually mine. The main ones are just here. So, yeah, as I say, you get a few Windows 11 machines. Client 5 and 6, I think, are non-domain joined. Maybe Windows 7 machines or Windows 8 machines for testing upgrades, that kind of thing. But the main ones you need to make sure are on and actually come on by default when the machine has finished, when the extraction and setup is finished. These two here, DC1 and Gateway 1. DC1 actually is the domain controller, as you can imagine, and the GW1 is a gateway. So all of these clients and servers point to the gateway as an internet breakout, and the gateway is the only one with an internet connected switch. So I'll quickly show you what that means. So in Virtual Switch Manager, you can see I've got my wireless that I'm using, which actually annoyingly is connected to Ethernet, but don't worry. This is the internet, right? That's what I'm using to get on the internet and browse, but also it's shared with my virtual machines. So we also have CorpNet, which is a private virtual switch. Private means that it's not possible to connect to that network from my host PC, which is the one I'm using right now. You got Internet, which is also a private network, and that is oddly named because it doesn't actually give you internet access. It's there as a way to simulate the internet if you need to. So that's not useful right now. So the two we need to think about are the external wireless and CorpNet. So I'll cancel that. You can't see the cancel button. It's just at the bottom of the screen. I'll click cancel. And I'll show you which network the DC is connected to. We'll go to settings. You can see it is connected to CorpNet and no other network. I'll choose cancel again. Go to the gateway, and you'll see that that is bridging the external wireless, HomeNet 1, which I didn't create. All of this was created by Microsoft, by the lab kit that we just saw, and it's bridging into CorpNet, the HYD CorpNet virtual switch. So let's just quickly check. If I open up DC1, hopefully it'll fit on the screen. Maybe. We'll see. That's about right. I'll log in. Ooh, that's too big. Let me just make that a bit smaller. So it pops up saying that your Windows license will expire soon, and it will, because it's got less than a month left, which is something you would like to know as an admin for a server. Windows license valid for 29 days. I restarted it without telling it why, so it's going to be cross with that. The point is, if I just go to Internet Explorer, wow, still here, and it started up in, I don't know if you saw that. Those of you who've done this kind of thing in the past, it started up in soft admin, which is interesting because hard admin is the one where it doesn't let you on the internet. Soft admin is the one where it lets admins browse the internet without any kind of restrictions. But if I just check google.com, I have internet access, and that's through this gateway machine. So that's really important to understand when you're installing this lab kit. Not all of your machines have internet breakout, and they're all going through this simulated lab environment. That's kind of it. That's all I wanted to show. I'm just recording these little bits for the course, but yeah, this is how I set up my lab environment for everything I do with Config Manager, really, just to get the latest and greatest, test upgrades, and do my testing. See you next time.